Hi, I'm Arpie Petrossian, graduating from Masters of Public Affairs at AUA. Originally in my bachelor's, I also did my bachelor's at AUA in business, and I also did a minor in PPE, politics, philosophy, and economics. And then throughout that whole minor, I found a lot of interest in politics and economics. And so I was looking for master's programs, and I was looking at AUA, and I saw that there's a new program, MPA, Public Affairs, and I thought this would be a great way to combine my business knowledge and the knowledge that I got from my minor as well. The first semester of the program was probably my biggest defining moment because I didn't really have an understanding of what this was going to entail, of what public affairs really is. And so I think that first semester was the defining moment because I learned a lot about what public affairs actually is and how our country as a whole and how all the other countries function and how they actually integrate with one another. And I thought it was very interesting to combine that with my previous knowledge from business management and also see that on kind of an individual level. Me and my course mates were the first MPA graduates, and it was unique because we had a lot of classes with PSIA graduates as well, who are now graduates. And it was really interesting to get that knowledge from them in some of our classes and to see what their input was while we were MPA students and they were PSIA. And it was interesting to see the differences between the two programs. One of the most interesting experiences was during our group presentations. I think group presentations are interesting in general because you get such different perspectives, especially when people are presenting. And one of them was particularly interesting because we had such conflicting views on the topic that we decided to structure it as a debate instead of a presentation because we were going to argue anyway. So we ended up doing it as a debate, and it was actually quite interesting and very fun, and the whole class was also engaged. So finding out how to collaborate with people in different ways was probably a very interesting experience. I was and I still am a high school teacher at Shirakazi Lyceum. So I teach business management and theory of knowledge. And at first I was like, I don't understand how this is going to be integrated. But once I started the program, I was like, oh my gosh, actually there are so many parallels to be drawn, especially with theory of knowledge. So there we cover a lot of different, they're called themes. And one of them was politics. We also have human sciences and history. And there were so many parallels because the actual classes that I was teaching and writing lesson plans for, I was coming back in the evening for classes at AUA, and I was actually learning about exactly what I was teaching, but at a much deeper level. So I was able to integrate that into my lesson plans and classes as well. And getting input from the students themselves was actually very interesting because I was also able to use that input in my classes. So it was a trade-off. My classes were helping me at work, and my work was helping me with my classes. I might be looking into some PhD programs, but I think I'm going to take about a year to process this and continue working and see where that takes me. This program has helped me realize that a lot of what we're learning about and what we study comes from our current generation. So in my work, I deal a lot with children. You know, these kids, they're like 15, 16, 17, and this is genuinely the future generation of Armenia. So I hope that I'll be able to make an impact there and be able to contribute in that way. So the future generations that are going to be helping the world and our country will have the skills that are necessary to do that. Be prepared for a lot of reading, a lot of hard work, critical thinking, analysis, and drawing a lot of connections. A lot of people, they don't understand what public affairs is, what it entails, but it's actually very interesting. It's not just politics, and it's not just you studying what different countries do. It's understanding the essence of how things around you function. So I think it's really important, even if you're not particularly interested in politics, this major would be quite useful there because you will understand a lot about how the world itself functions and how people integrate themselves in the community. Thank you, AUA.